Pfrommer Woods for the Pfrommer Woods Meltdown. The front nine saw some hot scoring. I'm joined again with Tom Kent.
What's up?
We've got Carson and Jake tied at 4 down. Matt Miller right behind him at 3. And a handful of others in striking distance. We've got our feature card of Melinda, Matt, Carson, and Dan.
Yeah, Dan's going to be hoping to see less disc tree contact. I think Melinda played pretty well on the front nine. I think she'd be happy if she was a few down, so we'll see if she can find her way into her par on the back here. And, Carson, just more of the same. Matt, more of those putts.
At hole 10, it's pretty open the first 90% of the flight, and then you think you're going to be acing it, and then there's just kind of a wall of trees.
You just throw something straight at it and hope you get near the basket.
So Matt gets a pretty good kick.
That's a good bounce. That was not looking like it was going to be very birdieable, and now he's got a pretty good look.
Now Carson's throwing that same Challenger he's thrown on probably half the holes.
Hey, whatever.
Yeah, and he managed to even get past the Ace Run Guardian trees there you see at the end.
Great shot.
Just a little wide for Melinda, but sat down in the middle of the fairway.
Come on. Oh, of course. I thought that was the one. I think my dog used to
That
wear
was
the
not the
same
one.
bandana.
It's not the one.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're going to see a card-wide celebration if Dan can get clean down a fairway at some point in this round.
Well, if you can believe it, the back nine actually, I would say, has more trees than the front, so
Hey, you know what?
It'll be an accomplishment. That's a great upshot from Melinda there.
Cool things.
yeah, she should have just a tap-in left for her par save. Dan actually got a pretty decent kick. Looks like he's about edge of the circle.
There.
Leaves it just a little short.
Oh,
Oh, Matt knew that one was wide right out of his hand.
Makes all those 30-footers and misses a 25-footer, so it's going to feel a little rough there.
Yeah, he's going to want that one back, especially if he's going to keep up with Carson, who's only about 5 feet away.
Yeah. Good putt from Melinda to keep her even.
Yeah, that was a good recovery. Oh, and Carson's taking a little relief here from the rock wall. That was a little-known rule, the relief area we used for all of the rock walls just for safety, so no one was throwing from the loose rocks.
Yeah, they're a couple of times in the course you end up walking in and around them, and you realize pretty quickly why that's a very reasonable relief rule, because it's a very old rock that looks like it might be stable, and it'll just roll into your foot.
Carson is 5 down through 10. He's gotten half the holes. He's going to be tough to catch if he keeps this up.
Pretty good.
Hole 11, you can see these 3 kind of U-shaped trees. The line is to split those 3 trees and then kind of get a little lucky at the end here.
I'd say this one's a few small trees away from being a pretty sweet hole, but we'll see if the players can find their way onto the green.
Yeah, it's one that's, I would say, tough to park. You can put it in the circle with a good shot, but to really park it, I think, takes a bit of luck.
Yeah.
Carson's kicked pretty far left early. And Matt actually gave that a run.
Wow, cured that.
He hit that kind of get lucky gap at the end that you can't really see from the tee. But he'll be on the back side of the circle, I think, coming back for his birdie putt.
Yeah, really, they're just trying to throw at the catch cam and then push through to the basket.
Oh yeah, sneaky.
Now Melinda's got this actually down like the actual fairway,
That was Carson's line.
and the fairway kind of finishes short left of the basket, so she'll have an open putt from the edge of the circle.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh no.
You can
That's-
see
You hit your line now.
that's that. I mean, he hit 90% of the line that he wants to, and the last 10% is he's just hoping to get through. You're not really aiming for a particular gap that far up the fairway at that point.
Carson is way out of position here.
Wow, you even.
I went pretty far forward.
He got a good kick. Looks like he might have made it into the circle, but he's going to have a tester putt for his par save. Dan gives it a run. He'll have about 20 feet left for his par.
Good stick.
Yeah, that was a big save after really one of his first big misses off the tee. Melinda just leaves her birdie putt just a touch short.
You'd like to convert on a good tee shot like that. But, you know, I think walking away with a par on this hole is not too bad.
Yeah, this hole didn't see many birdies at all in the pro divisions. Only one all day out of the 20-something pros that were playing today. Now, Matt had some good focus there with kind of celebration in the background. Didn't razz him. Pretty good scores to get away from that hole with the number of drives that weren't really in position.
Yeah, card showing some good scramble ability.
Yeah, that's a big aspect on this course we were talking about in the front nine. There's a lot of birdie chances, but there's just as many bogey chances if you're not throwing clean drives.
Yep.
Hole 12 is pretty much just a straight shot. Got a few early trees that you've got to worry about, but once you get past those, Carson's got most of the way there. Looks like he leaked a little left at the end. You can actually hear Matt's knee brace squeaking.
Flip.
All right, Melinda's lining up a leopard 3 here. Just gonna try to keep it nice and straight.
Just yanks it a little bit. That's not too uncommon of a mistake on this type of a gap. Just trying to, punch something smooth up the middle, and sometimes it just goes a little awry.
And we've got Dan here somewhere. Here he is.
Yeah, baby. There it is.
No, actually time
Go
to
in.
throw
Go in. Go in. Freaking A, I actually threw one. Yeah, let's go. Oh yeah, dude, it rolled down and then back around.
As predicted, the card celebrates. Dan throws a perfect drive. Well deserved. You know, he's been, not for lack of trying, he's been trying to, you know, get clean off the tee and rewarded there.
Ah,
No, Matt takes a couple kicks. Looks like he's still in the circle though. Doesn't look like Melinda's got much here. Not even entirely sure where the basket is from here. Oh, you can see the catch cam.
That one darker tree in the middle, the basket's right behind it. Needs that to get left, now right.
Okay, so Melinda's just outside the circle.
Little half go at it from that.
Yeah, that's a tough one to really run going down the hill. And you've got all the brush on the backside. You don't want to leave yourself with a tricky one coming back. Carson's in for another birdie. He's going to be tough to track down if he keeps birdieing every other hole.
Yeah.
It looks like Dan's going to finally get on the board. I wanted to mention this. Dan's obviously not playing up to his potential. The week after this tournament, the very next round Dan played, he dropped a 10-21. And
10-21 rated round.
10-21, his very next rated round, a week later.
Attaboy, Dan.
And he ended up winning the Rock City Open playing MP40.
I also want to highlight, it's got to feel great. Dan's the last one to putt.
Yeah,
from his drive.
From his drive after, yeah.
That's gotta, he's, you know, gotta have some confidence now coming in after that.
So hole 13 is only 138 feet. Very short, but you can see on the right side of the screen now, the hill drops away into an OB creek area. This is really more of an upshot than anything. You've just got to make sure you don't kick left.
I like to describe this hole as you're in a bad position on a par 4 for your upshot, but it's a hole.
Yeah.
Never, man.
That's a great shot from Carson. I don't think the camera angle is doing it justice. This small tree that's leaning to the right, and then the first tree on the bank, that's a pretty narrow little gap to cut through.
I don't think Carson was aiming for that gap based on their reaction.
Yeah.
This is more of the line.
You just throw it high.
That would have been cool.
Avoid some of the early stuff. Yeah.
There's actually, Matt is looking at it, there's a cheater step out forehand ace run line.
Okay.
And I know Tom has seen me run this one a few times before.
Yeah.
But in a tournament setting with the OB on the left, not really a good option. Matt plays the backhand. Gets a good tree kick. He'll be in the circle.
Yeah. The tree, honestly, when you get to the green on this hole, the trees are kind of your friend.
Yeah, for such a short hole, nice to have a little backstop.
Yeah. Melinda running the catch cam's head, but pretty nice shot. A little bit scary.
He's hit me a few times.
He should have committed to that shot.
Good shot.
He committed to taking the button off the top of his hat.
Yeah, that one was definitely the first time I was in the firing area there with Melinda throwing it right over my head.
There it is. That's a great birdie. Little pep in the step.
Yeah, you can see this is the backside of the green now, and all these trees are actually going to help you a little bit if you're coming in as high and as hot as some of these were. Oh, and look at this. Dan's now 2 in a row after what can only be described as a very slow start.
It doesn't matter. Okay.
I would, after knowing that Dan's got the capability in it to drop a 10-21 rated round, I'd call that front nine a nightmare for him. So we'll
Yeah.
see if he can have a nice little, call it a daydream on the back nine. It's looking that way so far.
Carson, a little sketchy am side putt there, but he's in for another birdie.
Yeah, with his kind of, you know, his style, when you hit low like that, it's probably going to stick more often than it's not because it's going to get pushed down into the cage.
And that was our first star frame there. One of the easier holes for sure, but it can definitely cause some trouble if you kick left at all. You have to go to a drop zone. It's about a 50, 60 foot putt. So
If you had asked me to predict what hole we'd be star framing, I would have not predicted that hole because it just seems to mess something up every time. Hole 14, Dylan, how do you birdie this hole?
that's why on the front nine I talked about hole 8. I think is a more demanding shot. I think this one's harder to birdie though because I don't think there's any real clean way to get to the basket. We're going to see Carson give it a go here. He's going to throw a flex shot with a force. And that was about as good as you can hope for from the tee. It was coming back, but took a little kick to the right, so he's actually kicked away from the basket.
Roadrunner things. Why do I get phoned today like that?
Yeah, Dan had the right idea, just trying to turn a roadrunner over, but once you make it around the corner, there's really just a lot of trees in the way.
Yeah.
And that's pulled this one.
In my research rounds, I really think the angle you're going to be most successful with on this is a little more of a flex shot than it is turning something over, because you really want the disc to fight back up the hill with the stability. And if you throw something really flippy and you get it turning, it's just going to burn into this hillside, and you're going to be left with circle 2 at best. See what Melinda can do.
Yeah, Melinda's going to be short right as well.
I wanted to hide this little bit.
Honestly, if I had to tell you what I expect to take on this hole, I'm imagining this hole like it's par 3.5. 3 feels kind of like a good enough score that it's almost that warm birdie feeling you get. But
Yeah, a 2 on this would almost feel like an eagle. Definitely, it's not a par 4 at only a little bit over 300 feet, but
yeah, definitely not a 4, but a 3 still feels pretty good on it. Melinda with a very rough kick off to the right.
Dan with a good approach with his zone. Looks like he's only about 10 or 15 feet there.
Good camera work there. We can see exactly the line he was going for, and he just pures it.
Matt took a kick and landed right in the center of the fairway, and he's still got really no line from here.
Yeah, pitch is up.
With the way he's been putting, that should be a 3 save for him. Yeah, Melinda, whoa, she's kicked even farther off the fairway now. Looks like Carson's at least looking like he can see the basket the way he's lining up. No, he doesn't get too greedy though. I'm not sure if Melinda wanted to give that as big a run as she did. She's went pretty far down the hill.
All right, done with this hole for the day. Don't have to play it again. Move on to the next.
Yeah, that's really the first hole we've seen Melinda have a lot of trouble on. She got a little bit off the fairway and just never made it back.
I think that's hole 14 here at Pfrommer. It's rough. Can be rough at least. Carson with a good par putt there.
And Matt's got this to save his 3. Yeah, three's a good score, especially if you're not. Yeah, you heard it from Matt. I'll take a 3 on this one.
Yeah.
Puddle, I love the puddle top. Right? That thing is puddle top Z is my favorite. Thing is money. Just lost mine at Pfrommer. Ooh.
I guess that's a zone, probably puddle top Z zone.
Yeah, that's
So if you find a puddle top Z zone at Parma, I guess maybe call Carson. Might be his.
could be. Pretty good overall score on that hole. 15, we've got the signature basket location up on the rock pile. You've got a forehand or a backhand turnover. If you've played here a bit, there's also an inside forehand flex shot that I think is the best shot. But if you haven't played here much, you probably are not going to find that shot.
I've gotten there with an overhand.
Forehand skip shot all day.
Matt's talking about overhands.
We played this on New Year's Day, and we had 3 birdies on the card with an overhand, a forehand, and a backhand, right?
Yeah.
Barrett threw backhand, you threw an overhand, and I threw a forehand. So that right there, this is, I think, it's a pretty cool hole. You've got a lot of options to get the birdie. It's a pretty cool green with the basket elevated on the rock wall.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, well, Dan has found it, the forehand flex line. He's talking about it.
I like it.
I don't see Carson trying that, though. He's a backhand only,
I wish I
would
was doing
say.
whatever Carson does.
See, I like the the camaraderie on the card. They're just out here to have a good time. Just a little C tier, 1 round, helping each other out, finding the hot lines.
Carson turns his challenger over a little bit too much, but that's a putt for sure. It's gonna be a scary one, though.
Those elevated baskets, when you get outside of 20 or so feet, it's
against the flex forehand.
No, I'm just
can
trying
be
to look
interesting.
at what he just did there.
You need a challenger.
If I done his own.
Dan's lining it up. The tough to see from here,
And the rocks.
but it's there. You've got to take something really overstable and put it on almost a 45-degree anhyzer. But if you can make it past the V tree there you see on your screen.
Oh, you almost had it. That was on.
Oh, and you saw the line he had. That was going to flex back at the rock pile. And it looks like Matt is considering all options. I've got to say, if you get up to the tee and you're considering a forehand, backhand, or a different forehand line,
right.
gonna be-
You call back to how many times these players have played this course, and
yeah, but he ultimately goes with the backhand.
I thought after that redirect I was gonna have something cool.
Yeah, just tough
I might have
to
a
throw that
putt.
shot with much confidence when you're second guessing and third guessing yourself.
and 4th and 5th.
Yeah. Melinda's lining up a Star Mirage here. Kind of a understable mid-range. Oh, well. Maybe needed a different disc.
Well, I like that play. Use the nice wide gap. Play to the
Don't go too far, man.
just play into the green. Rely on that solid putt. Get yourself a par.
And it looks like Dan's got kind of the same line Melinda just threw. Just trying to pitch it up there. Yeah, Dan's at the base of the rocks.
Dylan, can you putt from on the rock? Okay.
And Matt wanted to make sure these rocks weren't a relief area, which would have been amusing, I think, to force people to play off them.
Would have been some, what's that, Heiser Creek, where the basket's in the middle of the creek.
Yeah. Can't say I agree with that, but
Relief from the rocks that the basket is on. How would you ever get your disc if you can't go on the rocks?
good question. I see here the wind has just completely died, and Carson told me afterwards he was 100% laying this up. The wind stopped, and then he ran it. And he's in for, I would say, kind of a stolen birdie there. A little out of position on the elevated basket.
Yeah, look at the flag now.
And on the left-hand side of our screen here, there's a cornfield, so you've got the wind coming off the field and completely stopped for Carson's putt. Matt's taking his time. This is a tricky one.
Bummer.
Now the elevated basket gets him.
A great bummer indeed.
Either or, it doesn't matter.
Oh, that was a lot of chains to not go in. A little high left, but kind of been the story of Dan's day, just off by a little bit.
As Dan said, sometimes it's just not your day.
Melinda saves a good 3. Matt almost wipes out on the rocks and goes with the I don't know, the pancake toss there.
Little dunk.
I realized I was that close.
Now Carson is pulled away from Matt at this point with only a few holes to play, but we've got some second card score checking going on now. Jake Peters and Carson have been trading strokes the entire back 9, and Jake has just birdied 16 to pull even with Carson. So Carson's teeing off right now knowing that they're tied, and Jake is 1 hole ahead.
Well, 16 here. We got 318 feet, slightly uphill. There's a rock wall, a little bit up in the fairway. Kind of frames it up as a really pretty shot. You can go turnover backhand. You can go with a hard forehand up the left side. Decent amount of options. You just want to push.
This is looking good from Carson, who kind of gets a unlucky kick away from the basket. But he'll have a probably 35 to 40 foot putt for birdie.
Yeah, I might be dealing with a little bit of a crosswind here from left to right, given the cornfields right there. What we saw in the putts on the last hole.
Oh boy. Melinda has found the pit of despair there in the center of the fairway.
That's rough. See what Dan can do here.
Oh yeah. Stay straight. That's a long ways.
It's a great pull.
Yeah, it's longer than I
Probably
think it is.
45 feet.
That's 320.
That's a good shot from Dan. He'll have a putt for birdie. See if he can rack up a few on these last couple holes.
Oh dang. Right there.
Oh, Matt really, that's an example of that flex forehand he's trying to throw. He really just rolled it over and kind of took a good kick to not go in the mud pit where Melinda landed.
I had a good tree.
Yeah, he's got a good kick there. That's in Matt range.
Looks like Melinda got pretty fortunate to not go in the center of this. And she's not going to take any relief here. Looks like she's got an open line, though.
Oh, yeah, straight at it. Flip something up a little bit.
That's a great shot. She's going to have a chance to save her 3.
See if Carson can cash for the 2 here. No interest.
No, he just, I talked to him afterwards, and he knew him and Jake were even, and he didn't want to mess around with that one tree that was in the way and be left with a 20-footer for a knee knocker for his par.
And knowing 17 and 18, we'll see Melinda's putt here first. Oh, just a bit high.
Yeah, Carson knows he's got 17 and 18 are both birdie holes, and he's betting on himself that he's gonna be able to birdie both of them. Oh, Matt fakes out the camera.
Fake me out. What a great putting stroke. Take notes if you want a nice putting stroke to learn from. It's got good nose angle control, keeps a little bit of nose up, gives it a little bit of pop, and it just rides nice and straight into the basket. Another great putt from Matt.
Dan cleans up his 3. Carson will be tapping his 3 as well.
Dang, boy.
And this is when Carson really hadn't been checking the scores at all up until this point. But now, sitting on the tee for 17, he sees that Jake is also parred 17. So Jake's got 1 hole left, Carson's got 2 holes left. So the door is open for Carson to pull ahead here.
Yeah. And that, you see this is mostly a little bit of a soft left to right shot, 289 feet here. I think it's maybe a fairway driver for some of these players, maybe a mid-range, probably throwing backhands, especially from Carson here. I would expect to see just a nice soft turnover.
So this is actually the chase card that you see in the distance that Carson's going to wait for them to tee off on 18. And we're going to jump in for Jake Peters' tee shot on 18.
Oh, you hate to see that.
So just a quick jump in. So Carson doesn't know this at this point, but Jake is 3 at best on 18. So Carson's got to birdie 1 of the next 2.
That leaks
And
not in the good direction.
yeah, so the entire right side is OB with the rock wall. I think that might have gotten into Carson's head a little bit. He just didn't turn that buzz over at all, and now he's in the thorns and bushes on the left side. This is pushing towards the OB. Oh, it catches a tree that's on the OB wall, and he's safe, probably just on the edge of the circle. Yeah, Matt, again, was not totally committed to this backhand. I just heard him mention an overhand, which doesn't seem very reasonable for this shot.
I agree with him.
A little higher wouldn't be bad.
Great line. Just, missed the height a little bit, but...
Yeah, this is a tricky one if you're throwing backhand, because you really do have to turn it over, but if you don't get it to flatten out at the end, you're going to be going OB for sure.
It's got to get right off of some stuff.
So that's a really common mistake, just leaking out left.
Yeah, I'd say that's the tournament mistake to make, where you really don't want to take that OB stroke by going too far right. And
yeah, so this time of year, it's pretty reasonable over here on the left. During the summer, you can imagine this fills in quite a bit, and I think in a few months, Carson really wouldn't have any shot from here.
I'd say during the summer, the mistake is you throw something even straighter than what they're throwing, and you accept being maybe a little shorter, because left or right, you're basically OB, even though the left isn't actually OB.
Yeah, kind of a natural OB.
Yep.
Won't get there.
Carson with a little T-Rex forehand, and he's out,
Just punches through.
Yeah, he's gonna have a tester for sure because he knows he can't lose any strokes to Jake, and with any hopes of winning here.
Good little stick.
Yeah, Matt probably wanted to give that a bit more of a run, but he'll be walking away with a 3. It looks like Melinda's got a little bit more of an open look than Carson had on the left side.
Runs up a nice hyzer. She should have a nice, easy little chance for the 3 there.
Now Dan, after the good tree kick to keep him in bounds, he's got about 40, 50 feet maybe. Yeah, just a little right. It's been the story of Dan's day. Just off by a little.
Yeah, sometimes when you're off by that, you wish that you could just stop in the middle of the round, go hit the practice basket, make a few of them, get in your rhythm, and then get back on the course. But life is not that fair sometimes. Carson.
Carson's got this for 3 to stay even with Jake.
That's a good putt.
Yeah, that was a pressure one. Yeah, it's funny how the live scoring has really changed how a lot of these tournaments, especially the smaller ones, the big tournaments, you always know the scores going into the final few holes, but these local C tiers, normally you'd never have an idea if somebody on the card ahead of you was shooting hot and you needed to get a few birdies, but Carson knows exactly what he needs to do here.
Yeah. You know, the players are out here for fun. You know, none of them are, unlike the national tour, none of them are making a living playing disc golf here, but it's still fun to be able to get into the gamesmanship of, you know, making choices based on the situation presented to come out on top in the tournament. So it's fun. I like it.
18, we've got an inside backhand line down the middle and then a little bit wider of a hyzer line. The hyzer line probably a little safer. The inside line probably the only chance you're going to ace it. Definitely opportunity for a walk-off ace. But Carson knows what he's got to do. He's got to birdie this to win. At a par, he's going to force a playoff.
Oh my word.
And that was a zone. He was definitely shooting for the hyzer line, and he managed to hit the inside line. So he got, I would say, very fortunate with that drive. He's still going to have about a 25-footer for the win, though. Dan goes down the wide hyzer lane pretty clean. Kicks a little right at the end. He'll have about a 30-footer.
Chorus of chickadees cheering him on hole 18 here.
Oh, that was looking good for Matt. Looks like he just needed a disc with a little more stability.
I think Matt's got a future as a commentator. He seems to be calling every shot right out of his hand.
Yeah,
exactly what we would say about it.
Might have to just give him a mic for next time we get the footage rolling. Melinda's went outside the hyzer line.
Oh yeah, part.
Oh, it almost splashes it in.
That's a great run at that walk-off face.
I'll let one rip.
All right, so Matt has kicked a little short left. He's got about, I don't know, 50, 55 feet left. Really taking his time. You can tell he wants this last one.
Oof.
Oh, that would have been a highlight to end Matt's round, but he'll be tapping that in for a 3. Not really the finish on the back 9 that he was hoping for, I'm sure. And that's pretty much the story of Dan's day. Just right off the nubs for another what could have been.
They love to say it's a game of inches. He's been, inches away from making a lot of these putts. 1 to 2, I think she's been a little unfortunate to just be a little low, little right on some of these.
Now here's the pressure putt. Carson's got this from 25 feet. He knows he's got to make this to win.
Deadly. What a shot.
Gets the fist pump.
And he knows it. Live scoring tells him exactly what's going on. Beautiful putt right over the cage, right on the stripe. He's been cashing them all day.
Now he's pumped. That was to go 9 down, set a new course record.
Beautiful.
And it's also going to be Carson's highest rated round of his young career.
Wow.
Yeah, this was very early in the season, last week of March. Most of these players' first tournament of the year, so to come out and drop I think a 1037 rated round in your first one of the year.
Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
Good shooting. You made it interesting.
Yeah.
I just want to give a big thanks to Brad Pfrommer
You were very close to
letting
acing
us
it.
use the course. Hosted 114 people
No, I mean you
in March
came
in
through
New
like
York.
Shanghai, like almost hit it.
No small feat.
Pulled more than one car out of the mud.
Yeah, multiple cars were rescued by Brad in the parking area.
Again, congratulations to Carson. Great win here. Nice to catch it on film.
And then we've got the final scoreboard here. Carson and Jake both went bogey-free the whole round. Came down to that last putt for Carson. 1037, what a round. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.